What is up, everybody? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Christian, and today we're going to be talking about how to ride a motorcycle, or learning to ride a motorcycle for beginners. This is for people who have never rode a motorcycle before and are planning to, or they're just curious on how to ride a motorcycle. This is not the best demonstration, not the best bike to learn how to begin on, but the idea came to me while I was riding this bike. The Supermoto probably would have been a better choice, but I'm not on the Supermoto. So this is a beautiful lot. Once I get the sprocket changed on the Supermoto, this is probably going to be the lot that I learn how to do wheelies on. You got to be careful though, because there's a lot of spots that look like nice, but it's really loose gravel. So it's not the best lot. There's a lot of loose pebbles and shit everywhere. So I'm on the MT10. Look at her. She's dirty. I got caught in the rain yesterday and I didn't wash it yet, so it's a little dirty. But go over some of the basics. Very simple stuff. For the most part, I'm probably going to be in this parking lot. So let's see. Let's get started. So depending on, I guess, who you ask, I'm going to keep my visor open because it's hot. I'm going to pop the old boy into neutral. There we go. And actually, we're going to turn the key off, because if you want to begin, I suggest you take your time and learn the bike. I parked in a terrible spot. My feet are sliding. Sit on the bike, get the kickstand up, and just sit on it. Try to learn where the balance is, you know. Try to learn where's the weight. Is the weight low or high? This bike, the weight is kind of, to be honest, the weight is pretty, it's pretty well balanced, to be honest. My main problem is I barely can flat foot. With these shoes I can, because they're kind of thick. They're kind of thick on the bottom. So just go sit on your bike or a bike and just kind of get a feel for it. Walk it around a little bit, maybe. You know, I can't really do that because I'm tippy-toeing. But just walk it around. Get used to it. So once you feel kind of, you know, balanced, and you kind of penguin waddled your bike around a parking lot for a little while, and you feel comfortable sitting on the bike, then I would recommend turning the bike on. Maybe even just turn it on and let it run for a little bit. Let it warm up. Don't let the noises scare you. A lot of people are going to be intimidated by the sound. The bike's going to make noise. It's just, it's a motor. That it is. You can even, mine's warmed up. I just parked it. I'm at 176. But yeah, just get used to your bike making noise. Noise does not mean it's a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. Your motor's not going to blow up. Everything's going to be fine. So maybe even waddle it around with the bike on. You know, make sure your bike is in neutral before you crank it up. And then once you get comfortable with the sounds of your bike and you're not terrified because it's making noise, maybe even pop it into first. Ooh, scary. It's terrifying, right? And then now what you want to do is just find your friction zone. So I have my clutch set out so it catches very late. I don't like clutches that engage as soon as you like if you pinch the clutch all the way to the handlebar and it engages right after you get off of the handlebar. I don't like having to pull the clutch in that far. Mine is like, I mean, it's this much from off and on. The clutch is almost fully extended out. There's a little bit of, they say keep like a dime gap between the clutch lever and this little frame thing right here, where you can slide a dime through it. So you don't want it to be too tight right there, but mine is like almost fully out there. That's on, that's off. On, off, on. It's that simple of a movement. I don't know if you guys can see it. So, clutch engaged, disengaged, engaged, disengaged. It's that much of a little bit of a difference. So now that you learn where your friction zone is, meaning where the bike has power, like right now, the bike has power. That's 100% bike. And if I pull in the clutch, it'll stop, right? So once you get your friction zone down, just kind of ride around with it like that. Just kind of baby pedal. You don't have to put your feet on the pegs. Just walk around, right? Just walk around till you get comfortable with the bike moving. Maybe do a couple emergency stops like that. Woo, scary. All right. Depending on your bike and meaning like the CCs, when you release the clutch, you might have to give it a little bit of throttle because it might try to kill itself. Maybe I shouldn't say that. I'm not going to say kill itself because YouTube's going to take that the wrong way. The bike's going to try to stall. So you might have to, when you find that friction zone, maybe crack open the throttle just a little bit. Just give it a little bit. And then just fully release the clutch. And just kind of maintain that little bit of throttle pressure. Don't full beans it, because now your bike's running off of your throttle. Right? So just kind of be gentle with it. Right? So... Where are you going, sir? Please don't come over here. Are you coming over here? He might be coming over here. No, they're not coming over here. Okay. So once you find your friction zone, right? Oh, I don't know why I keep putting my visor down. It's hot as hell. All right. Once you find your friction zone, then you can, like I said, give it a little bit of throttle. Now we're rolling. Now this is just idle. I'm not giving it I'm not touching the clutch or the gas. The bike idles at 10 miles an hour. Right? So this is 100% bike just idling. Do that. Like I said, depending on what CC you have, it might be faster or slower. I don't know. But right now we're just kind of chugging along. Like I said, not touching the clutch or the throttle. This is what the bike does. So do this for a little while. Hopefully you can find a big parking lot like this where you can just kind of chug along. And just do this until you're comfortable. Remember, if you hit that brake, if you pull in that brake, your bike's probably going to stall. So always keep your hand on your clutch and your brake just in case you do have to stop. But remember, before you stop, pull in your clutch. Then hit the brakes. Especially when you're going this slow. If you're going like 40 miles an hour coming up to a red light, you can brake before you clutch. I wouldn't recommend rolling 40 miles an hour with the clutch pulled in. I wouldn't recommend that. Maybe get down to like 15 miles an hour, then you can slowly start pulling in that clutch and then start stopping. But right now, like I said, just idling. We're just cruising right now. Just going in circles, cruising. Like I said, this is basic. This is like basic stuff just to get you comfortable on the motorcycle. I know it seems very childish and, not interesting, but I mean, you're beginning. This is the whole point of trying to become better. It seems dumb, but it will help you. And then once you start getting comfortable, now you can then give the bike throttle. Oh my God, it's terrifying. And also, depending on the CCs of your bike, it might be a little jerky. It might not. The main thing about riding a motorcycle is you want to be smooth. Everything you do, you want to be smooth. Throttle, braking, stopping, pulling in the clutch, releasing the clutch, even shifting. This bike has a quick shifter, but I do have to use the clutch when I'm stopping and going. So, So we're only going 5 miles faster than idle. I'm going 15 right now. So now we're going to practice. Let's just practice stopping, I guess. That would be a good start. So, going 15, pull in the clutch, slowly hit that brake. Look at that. Wow. We stopped. So, right now, just focus on your brake lever. Don't even worry about your foot brake right now. We'll get to that maybe in a later video. And then the main thing you want to practice, so you don't look like an idiot on the street, is stopping and going. So release the clutch, give it a little bit of throttle, and we're off to the races again. We're off to the next red light or stop sign, you know? So get up to 15 miles an hour. We're going. I got up to 20 somehow. I think I went downhill. Pull in the clutch, hit the brake. Look at that. Release the clutch, a little bit of throttle, and we're off again. And I know I'm not a motorcycle instructor. I'm just somebody who's been riding for a little while. So I just kind of, there's a camper back there. Somebody's back there. And just do this for a while. The worst and most, like, not heartbreaking, but like demoralizing thing is when the light turns green, you go and you stall and you have like 8 cars behind you. Like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? Go. It hurts. It happens to me. It happened to me a couple times. It even happened to me on the new Supermoto, and that was like 4 weeks ago. I wasn't used to the clutch because I'm used to this one, and the clutch on that thing engages way sooner rather than later, and I prefer my clutch to be just mainly for shifting. So if I wanted to shift on this thing, all I have to do is pull in. I went to neutral. Like an idiot. That happens. I didn't hit it hard enough. But if I wanted to shift, I just barely pull in the clutch, shift up, and go. I don't like my clutch to being like disengaged all the way to the damn handlebar. That's too far. There's no need for all that. I just want it to be that much of clutch engaged, clutch disengaged. A half an inch maybe. I know a lot of people are going to be against this, but I got a motorcycle before I went and did my MSF course, and I would recommend doing that. If I were you, I would go on like Facebook Marketplace or something and get a bike off of there. Something cheap, something that already has scratches. I wouldn't get anything brand new, because you're probably going to drop it. It's unfortunate to think about and say, but it's probably going to happen. So I would get something that's used, doesn't cost that much. Because more than likely, if you go buy a brand new Ninja 500, I don't want to say you're going to get bored of it, but a lot of people get bored of it within the first month and they want something new. I completely lost track of what I was doing. I'm just riding in circles. So we're going back to practicing braking. Now we're going to add in rear brake. Once you get comfortable with the front brake, if you do a combination of front brake and rear brake while stopping, it will be way smoother. So if you look at the bike and I brake, this is only front brake. Pull in the clutch, front brake. You see how the bike nose dives? You see that? How it's not as smooth? If you add rear brake with the front brake, your bike won't nosedive as much when you're braking hard. So, for example, this is front brake and rear brake. It dives a little bit, but it's way smoother on the stop, because you got to remember, this bike, the rear wheel is what has all the power. That's what's pushing the bike forward. So if you can slow that back wheel down and then add a little bit of front brake just to slow it down more, it's going to be way smoother, and you're going to stop way sooner than just using the front brake. And then once you get comfortable, you can kind of go a little bit faster. I don't want to, oh my God. Like I said, this is not a good This is not a good parking lot. There's a lot of loose gravel that you really can't see until you're on top of it. All that light colored shit is loose gravel. And the dark spots are solid. It's really bad, dude. So now, because I'm terrified to go fast on this parking lot, we're gonna go hit the street, and we're gonna talk a little bit about street ride. Hey, is that a Boosa? Hey! We met a friend. We're just going in circles. Why are we going in circles? How's it going?
Nice to meet you.
Huh? Oh, let me turn my music off. Ah! Alright, I couldn't hear you. I'm sorry. How's it going?
Good.
I'm Christian.
Caitlin. Yeah, I just moved here and I was like, well, I guess I'm going to go out and ride today because it's not 95 degrees.
Yeah.